Alright, so today we're going to be looking at pages on Canvas. So pages are kind of a miscellaneous thing. I always struggle with whether to do these at the beginning or at the very end of Canvas stuff. But because they're so versatile, I feel like doing them at the beginning is useful because as you start doing other things, you can say, oh, well, I could use pages in this way as we go through it. So again, pages are kind of the miscellaneous option, the nothing else really quite fit. So if we go back to looking at the things we can add to modules, so pages are going to be for things that are not assignments, not quizzes, not files, not discussions, text editors, external URLs, or external tools. Pages are just kind of whatever outside of that. It's whatever you want them to be. It's literally just like a blank page that you can put whatever you want into. So I'm going to go ahead and create a page. We'll call this sample. Hit add item. And so it's already added it in. So we'll go ahead and open it up. And so whenever you add a page, just like with assignments and things like that, it's going to default to just being unpublished and blank and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and go to edit. And within pages, there's not a whole lot of stuff that you can do, but it's also at the same time, there's a lot of things you can do. So with pages, everything that you're going to be doing is within this box. So on the one hand, that limits you because, there aren't different like date settings and things like that you can set aside from when you want it to publish. But there are a lot of things that you can do within the box. So going across the top, it starts with your standard stuff. So you can type things in here. So here's some sample text. So you can change the font if you want. You've got different font sizes to choose from there. They've also got some preset options for like different types of headings and paragraphs and stuff. So if you wanted to put a lot of stuff in this page, you could, instead of having to go through and change the font maybe and change the size and all that stuff, you just pick from those preset stuff. Your bold, italicize, underline, change the color. If you don't like a color that's listed here, you can go to the color picker. If you know the number, you can do that. You can move the slider to pick that you want that one. You've got all those options. Same thing with highlighting. You pick those. For those of us who have math and science, we've got subscript and superscript that you can choose from there. And then we start to get into some of the more useful things. So there's the links button. So when you click that, you have two different options. There's external link and course link. For me, I personally use my pages to do like for all my resources. So within a unit, instead of having, here's the set of notes for this, and then here's the set of notes for this, and here's an answer key for this worksheet, and so on and so forth, and having all that stuff listed out in my modules, I just use this external link option to link to my Google Slides or the Google Docs or whatever it is. So for text, you could put in, I want the link, let's say, I want to say click here to go to Google. And so for the link then, that's going to be the URL. So I'll put google.com. I'll hit done. And so now, when somebody's on the page, Now when somebody's on the page, if they click here, that's going to take them to google.com. You could also, if you wanted to, do a course link instead. So that will take you somewhere, or take them somewhere specifically within Canvas. And so based on all the stuff that you've got in here, you can choose to search through your pages. So there are a bunch of different pages here. It also tells you whether they are published or not. So that can be useful. All the various assignments that you might have there. So some you may want to use this to list all of your assignments out, so that instead of having them all listed in one big giant list on your modules, each module is maybe simple. Maybe you have a bunch of pages within there. This one's for notes, this one's for assignments, this one's for quizzes. And then, like I just said, for quizzes, you could also click in there too to link a quiz, any announcements, discussions, all the other stuff too. So let's link this force quiz here. So when they click that, that'll take them to that quiz. And then you can keep adding stuff if you want. So you don't have to keep clicking back to the add things. So maybe I want that quiz, I want the balancing act discussion, and I could keep going on and on through that. So links are, in my opinion, what makes pages really, really powerful. The fact that you can have one centralized place, one centralized hub for you to put all of your links to wherever it is that they need to go. You can also add images in here. So upload image would be uploading from your computer. So when you click that, you can either drag and drop from the computer. You can click to browse your computer. So this would be where you go through, go to your pictures, see if you can find some stuff in there. You can also go URL. This one's a little more advanced, but if you have the URL for an actual picture, not the website that a picture is on, but the actual URL for the picture, you can do that. One word of warning, though, is if the school has a filter set to block that website, students are not going to be able to see it because it does use that actual website rather than the picture. So I usually stay away from this. I usually will just download the picture and then upload it real quick to here. This stuff I usually leave alone. But you can upload an image. You can also go to course images. So any images within the class, you can upload. I have no idea what this is, but apparently it's in here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload it. Don't know where the picture of that dog came from, but all right, we've got a picture of a dog now. So we added that in. If you don't have something within the course, but maybe there's been another course that you have, you could go to user images. And so these are all the images that I have for all of my other classes. So I know these are from like P&PS. There's some AP Physics stuff in there. So you could go through, even if you don't have it within the course you want, if you know that it was in another class, you want to reuse it, you can do that. This button here would be for uploading videos or media. So upload/record media. So if you've got something on your computer, you can upload it here. Or Canvas has an option where you can record directly within it. You obviously need to give it permission to use your things. But we can do there. And I think it grabbed the wrong webcam. Yeah. So there's my face there. So you can change your webcam settings, or if you want it to be no video, it'll just record audio. So maybe for foreign language, that might be useful. You can pick between your microphones that you want, whichever one works better for you. But you can upload videos straight in and they'll play within that page. Again, you can go to course media if you already have a video within your course, or user media if you have a video from another course. Documents, this works the same way as files. So upload document, where I could upload a file. Let's see, do I have something on my desktop here that'll work well? Let's do this recipe for pulled pork that I apparently downloaded. So we add that in. And did it do something weird? I think it did. Let's remove that. Alright, let's try that again. So if I upload, okay. There we go. So I uploaded in there, so now anybody who clicks that will have the file. So that did kind of two things at once. It brought the file into my Canvas course, so now wherever I'm at in my Canvas class, if I want to add another file somewhere, I can go to course documents, and boom, it's in there. And apparently I uploaded it twice, so that first time it did work, it just labeled weird for some reason. So it's within my course documents, and it's also just available as a link right there. So again, you have course documents and user documents, same thing. Then there's this icon maker. So if you want to make icons, you can do that. Maybe you're the kind of person who likes to have different images or pictures to represent each individual thing. So you go to create icon. So at the beginning or at the top, you're going to see what the icon is. In this case, it's got that checkerboard, meaning that there is nothing there. So the first thing you want to do is give it a title. So let's say this is the thing I want to use for writing. If you want to describe the icon, you can. It's totally up to you. Then you can give it, if you want, you can give it a basic shape. So let's go ahead and let's put a circle in there. How big you want that icon to be, whether it's small, medium, large, or extra small, let's go ahead and make it medium. And right now, even though we pick circle, we still don't see anything up there because the default for the color is no color. So I'm going to change that to this tealish color. Then if you want it to be outlined, let's give it, let's say, a medium outline. That one defaulted to black. But again, you can pick between those colors. If you want a color that's not one of those specific ones, you can change, again, if you know the number code, which is kind of an advanced thing, but you can change the number code in there. So let's just throw a random number in there, 6358. So now apparently 6358 is purple. So now the outline is that specific, or 635 is that specific shade of purple. You can add some text if you want in there. So I said this was writing, so maybe this is my clue into students to saying, okay, the thing that's going to be beside this icon is for writing. So I'll put writing there, and I'll put that text there. We can change the text size, so we'll change it to medium. You can change the color, a background if you want it for the text, or just that sort of thing. I'm personally a fan of no text background. And then where you want it, you have 3 places that you can choose to put it. You can put it dead middle, so it'll put it in the middle of whatever your icon is. In the bottom third, so depending on what your icon is, that may or may not work well, or below it. And then image, we've got a couple options. So you can add an image, so where you can either upload one. There are single color images, where these are just already pre-populated by Canvas. These are your options for the single color. Multicolor images, they've got these options as well. Or course images, so any images you have within the course, so like apparently this dog is in the course in my sandbox, I could use that picture as an image as well. So I'm going to go back. If it's reading, let's do the books. And so that added that image in there. I could give that image a color. Let's make it red. That looks absolutely hideous. That's better. It's still not great. So if I hit apply, now I have this writing image. I can choose to resize it if I want. Edit icon will just reopen this back up. And it'll edit that specific one. I'm going to say it without making changes. For icon options, again, whether there's that text in there or not. So these icons can be used, again, as like little things to clue students in. Google Drive, that's where you can upload or put a link in for something from your Google Drive. So let's do my AP Physics lesson plans. So we'll add that, attach it. And so now that's in there. This page is going to be a mess, by the way. Then here you've got a couple options. Canvas Studio. There's another thing for Google Drive as well. These are the different apps within Canvas. If you have videos within Canvas Studio, this is a great way to add those in. There will be a video about Canvas Studio later. But those will play within, should play within the page. If you click View All, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Again, some of that is more advanced. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. Align, that's going to be like text align, so whether you want it all aligned to the left, the center, or the right, just like Google Docs, Microsoft Word. If you want bullet points, you can do that. You can also, tab over to give the sub points. Increase and decrease indent. We've got a clear formatting option here. You can add in a table. A lot of people will use these tables for organizational purposes. So maybe they don't want an outline. Maybe they want a table to view stuff. So you can pick, and we can insert a table there. And you can add things into the table. You could type in, maybe my unit notes are here. And then you could go highlight that, click external link, and then go find the link for that. Or you can do the course link, find the notes, and then add them in there. Or if you have documents, you do course documents, and we'll make pulled pork that. So now when they click on the notes button, it's going to open that document that I linked, in this case, the pulled pork. So some people like to use tables for that stuff. If you're a math person or more advanced science person, you can add some equations into here. If you want to do that, you just play around with it, figure out how that works. And then this embed option, if you know what it is, you know how to use it. If you don't, you're probably never going to have to use it. So when you're done, you want to hit save or save and publish. Also, just a few other options. My recommendation for users allowed to edit the page, my recommendation would be to make it only teachers. Otherwise, you can make it teachers and students. So anybody in your course who's a teacher or a student can edit this page, which could be good for some collaborative type of things. And as you can imagine, could also go kind of terribly depending on who's doing stuff. There is an option in here for you to view revision histories to pages. So even if it is a complete free-for-all, somebody put something they shouldn't, you can see exactly who did it, when they did it, just like revision history in Google Docs. Or anyone. This way, if you have parents or observers or other people like that in there, they can also add to it as well. Add to student to do, so maybe there's something that you want them to do with the page that's not an assignment or a quiz or something like that, but you want it to pop up on their to-do list. You can check that. You can say when they need to do it, or when you want it to pop up on their to-do list. Publish at, so when you want this page to be visible. Allow mastery paths, that's a more advanced thing, we'll get to that later. And then notify users that this content has changed. If you check that, that's going to tell everybody within the class that you've made some kind of edit to it, so that they know that they may need to go back and check it or not. But again, when you're done, we can hit save, or you can hit save and publish if you want it to be published immediately. And then, so this is kind of what that page looks like. So here's that external link to go to Google. So we click on that, and it took me to Google's homepage. So they could go immediately in Google. If you had something like a Google Doc linked or something like that, the Google Doc would open instead, and it would take them there. For the Balanced Force quiz, if we click on that, it's going to take us to that quiz. Since I'm in teacher mode, it's showing me the teacher version of it, but if it was a student, it would show it pop up with the, you're about to take this quiz, enter the access code if there needs to be one, all that good stuff. For the file, if they click on that, it's going to open up the file within Canvas, so they can see whatever that file is. Again, if you have notes or an answer key or something like that, that's going to pop up instead of a recipe. That Google Doc, or that Google Sheet that we embedded, you can see that they can actually interact. They can scroll through everything there. Since this is a Google Sheet rather than a doc, there are the different tabs down at the bottom, so they can click through there. So depending on, again, how you have things organized, this could be a good way to get through that. The table here, since I only typed something in the first part, it left that big, and then all the other ones got real scrunched. There are different table settings that you can use if you want to leave, for some reason, open rows and stuff. The picture of the dog, so all the stuff that I put in there, this is how it's going to look to students. So that is it for pages.